Your days probably don't fail because you're lazy. They fail because one small hinge is out of place and the door never swings open. You wake, reach for the phone, drift, rush, and the rest of the schedule inherits that wobble. Here's the claim. A keystone habit works like the keystone in an arch. Fit it first, and the other stones settle. Neglect it, and everything else needs scaffolding. Most people try to fix productivity by attacking everything at once. New app, new planner, new rules. The arch collapses because there is no single stone bearing the load. The more effective move is to identify one habit that, by its structure, stabilizes the rest. Through the system lens, that means mapping one reliable trigger, one concrete behavior, and one visible feedback signal that invites repetition. The power isn't mystical, it's mechanical. When the trigger is consistent, the behavior is small, and the feedback is immediate. The loop sustains itself, and the day begins to rearrange around it. A common myth says, discipline is about big acts of will. In practice, those sprints tax your attention. People who appear disciplined have simply removed moments that require discipline at all. They install a keystone habit that deletes decisions upstream. Once the first stone is set, less force is needed everywhere else. Certain changes feel unfairly effective, not because you became a new person, but because the structure began to carry weight for you. Consider a proof from ordinary life. When professionals across different fields adopt a consistent opening move for the day, say a 5-minute plan check at the desk before opening messages, several measurable shifts tend to show up within a month, fewer context switches before noon, a higher rate of finished work blocks, and a drop in late-night catch-up. It isn't the 5 minutes alone. This one action locks the arch in place for everything that follows. Fix a single reliable start and downstream behaviors, timely beginnings, cleaner handoffs, shorter evenings, become more probable without constant effort. Now to tactics. First, lower the force required to start by making the trigger unmissable, and the first step smaller than feels reasonable. If writing is your keystone, the trigger could be the moment your laptop wakes. The behavior is opening the working file and typing one sentence. The feedback is a simple, draft-started card on your keyboard that you flip when done. One sentence sounds trivial, but getting into the document pulls you further than intention ever does. The physical mark provides closure you can see, which keeps the loop crisp enough to repeat tomorrow. Second, bundle contexts, so the habit drags allied behaviors along with it. If your keystone is a daily review, place the items it unlocks, calendar, top task, relevant notes, behind a single doorway. Open one thing, and the rest appear without search. This removes tiny frictions that usually derail you. Hunting for files, doubting which list to trust, resorting priorities you already sorted yesterday. When a keystone pulls its neighbors into the same space, switching costs drop and execution feels smoother than planning. Choosing the right keystone is where many overcomplicate. You don't need an identity overhaul, you need a habit whose completion is visible and whose benefits are felt today. For many knowledge workers, 3 candidates are consistently effective. A short planning pass before any messaging prevents the morning from being hijacked by other people's priorities. A first focus block with a clear finish line. Write 300 words, ship 1 internal draft, analyze 1 dataset, creates a concrete win before noon. A brief closing protocol, update task status, and park the next starting point at the top of tomorrow's page. Stops the next day from beginning in fog. Any one of these can be the keystone. Adopt just one. Protect the keystone from ambiguity. I'll try to plan earlier is vague. At 8:30, open the day plan and choose one task with a visible finish is concrete. The moment is explicit, the action is simple, and the completion state is unambiguous. If you could film it and a stranger would know whether you did it, it's defined well enough. Return to the arch and make it practical. An arch doesn't hold because you push on the keystone every minute. It holds because the shape distributes load. Likewise, once your keystone is in, you should feel less strain, not more. A useful test is how your afternoon looks on a messy day. If your morning keystone is completed, even a choppy afternoon often ends with one meaningful block finished. Miss it and the day scatters. That contrast tells you the stone you chose is genuinely load-bearing. There's also a timing effect. Keystone habits pay out early, not only over months. When you complete one clear block with a visible end, you get a local win today. A finished draft, a closed ticket, an edited scene. That near-term completion sustains the loop long enough for broader benefits. less evening anxiety, fewer weekend spillovers to accumulate. If a habit feels virtuous, but never yields a concrete win today, it isn't a good keystone. Mind the environment. Triggers live in places, not in thoughts. If your keystone is a morning focus block, make that the default. Put the working file on the dock and move messaging behind 2 actions. For 1 week, launch the work file from the desktop and keep notifications silenced until the first block is done. You're not trying to be stronger, you're becoming the person who doesn't need to be strong at 9. Feedback is the 3rd leg of the loop, and it must be visible. Humans repeat what they can see themselves completing. Use a tiny scoreboard, not a paragraph in a diary that vanishes into a document. A simple grid on your desk works. Each weekday has a square. When the keystone is done, mark the square. The mark is crude on purpose. It reminds you that the goal is completion, not polish. After 2 weeks, your brain recognizes the pattern and resists breaking it. That resistance is exactly the force you want on your side. Keystone habits also change how you decide. Decision friction drops when today's first step is pre-chosen and non-negotiable. You remove the morning debate about what to do first. One decision made yesterday protects dozens of micro-decisions today. Over time, you'll see fewer half-starts and more blocks that reach a clean endpoint. The psychological effect is tangible. Movement replaces busyness. A word about ambition. It's tempting to chase multiple keystones at once. Morning writing, strict inbox rules, daily workout, flawless prep. Resist it. The arch only needs 1 keystone. Pick the habit that most directly stabilizes your workday and let the cascade happen. If you're unsure which to choose, review the last 7 mornings and identify the earliest point where the day regularly goes sideways. Install the habit there. When you miss, don't compensate with a longer session or a tougher rule tomorrow. Reinstall the same small behavior at the next available slot and complete it once. The point is to restore the structure quickly, not to punish yourself. Reliability beats intensity over any 2-week window. Here's a 1-week experiment to make this concrete. For the next 7 weekdays, complete a single starter block before opening any messaging. At 8:30, open your top task and produce a visible unit of progress by 9 a.m. Then leave 1 line at the top of the file with the next step. On day 7, count how many starter blocks you finished. How many afternoons still delivered 1 finished block despite interruptions, and whether your evening catch-up time decreased. Keep the keystone if at least 5 starters were completed and evening spillover dropped. If you want a precise starting plan for tomorrow, do this. Before messages, sit down at 8:30, open your top task, and produce 300 words, 1 page of analysis, or 1 edited scene by 9 o'clock. Leave a short note at the top of the file stating the next step, so tomorrow begins already pointed. Mark the square on your desk. That's it. If the rest of the day dissolves, you still own a finished block. If it holds together, you'll likely complete more than you expected without changing your personality at all. Notice the cascade. After a week of consistent starts, it gets easier to decline mid-morning distractions because you already have a win. After 2 weeks, ramp-up time shrinks because yesterday's note removes guesswork. After 3, evening pressure drops because there's less unfinished work bleeding into the night. None of these are extra habits you bolted on. They are side effects of 1 stone carrying the load. When the arch is set, you can widen it. Add a brief closing ritual at day's end. Update the status of 1 task, choose tomorrow's starter, park the file you'll open. That remains 1 habit tied to 1 trigger with 1 visible mark. Only after it becomes boringly reliable do you consider a second keystone for another domain, such as training or finances, using the same mechanics: clear trigger, small behavior, visible feedback. You don't need reinvention. You need 1 habit that is easy to start, quick to finish, and hard to ignore. Place it where your day most often breaks. Give it a trigger you will inevitably meet even on a bad morning. Give it a finish line a stranger could verify. Give it a mark you can see when you pass your desk. Let the structure carry part of the weight you've been trying to hold with sheer effort. If this helps, set the desk tonight and run the starter block for 1 week. If the effect is real, keep it and pass the idea to someone who could use a steadier start. And if you want more tools like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next round.